What's up, you guys? It's Scott from Fly Rides. I am here today with a very exciting video for you because Riese Müller has released their model year 2021 bikes, and there are some fantastic updates. Riese Müller is bringing you a full lineup of Bosch Generation 4 motors, bikes with up to 1250 watt-hour battery capability, a new smartphone hub display, and also the ability to upgrade to a Neon display this year. Like this video and subscribe to the Fly Rides electric bike channel so that you can stay up to date on all the 2021 electric bikes coming out this year. But for now, let's check out Riese Müller's 2021 updates. Starting things off, we have some massive updates on three of their most popular bikes, the Homage, the Packster, and the Roadster. The Homage is Riese Müller's do anything, go anywhere, full suspension, low step electric bike, and it is getting some great improvements this year. First off, you've got the Bosch Performance Generation 4 motor on there. That is the Speed and the CX. Both of those you can get 85 Newton meters of torque. You do get 85 Newton meters of torque right out the gate. The main attraction on this newly designed Homage is the fact that you can get dual integrated 625 watt-hour batteries. That's right, you heard it correctly. You are getting watt hours up to 1250 if you want on the Homage. Basically what's going on here is that you can load them from the side if you get the dual battery option. So one on the left, one on the right. That means you are getting 1250 watt hours. That should be good for at least 100 miles, I would say. As with all of Riese Müller's full suspension bikes, you are getting their super safe, super in control technology. That is a single pivot full suspension system that keeps those wheels on the ground. It's more designed for safety and comfort, whereas a traditional suspension is more designed for performance. And it's going to mean less maintenance over time because there's only going to be one pivot to replace potentially, but that's gonna last a long time. You're also getting Magura MT4 hydraulic disc brakes on this Homage. That should be plenty of stopping power, even if you do opt for the 28 mile per hour version, and a 260 lux headlight. So that is going to be lighting up the road, no problem. That's an integrated headlight. You also get a brake light in the back. Riders can also choose to add a dropper seat post, which is going to be more common, I would guess, on commuters as the years pass. Because really that is the whole point of a low step bike, is that it's no fuss. You're not having to get on and off when you hit traffic signals and all that. So having that dropper seat post is going to be great for a lot of people. All these upgrades make the Homage more appealing than ever, and I think it's going to be one of the more popular bikes. Let's check out the next upgrades. The Packster is Riese Müller's entry-level front-loading cargo bike, and it gets a welcome upgrade this year in the Packster 70. Of course, you're getting the Bosch Generation 4 performance motors, but these are going to be the cargo-specific motors on the Packster, which is good because they perform better on cargo bikes. The software is designed so that when you're under a full load, the motor performs differently than when you're not carrying anything at all. It can tell the difference. It's a very smart motor. Riese Müller have also managed to get you 1250 watt-hour capability on the Packster 70 as well. If you're having a hard time seeing where these batteries are at, it's because they are integrated into the front part of that frame. I'll show you right now. Pretty cool, right? Low profile, you're not gonna be able to tell at all where those batteries are, or the world isn't. I guess you'll know personally, but it's a very cool design and should add some nice stability to the front of that cargo bike. It's the first time I've ever seen batteries built into the chassis of a cargo bike, and I am very excited to see how it rides. Another very cool addition on the Packster 70 is your ability to go with Enviolo's automatic shifting hub. This is an addition that people have been waiting for a long time, and it is finally going to be available in the States. I love having this automatic shifting on a cargo bike because in the end, they are slightly more difficult to ride than a regular bike because you've got a lot of stuff out in front of you. So if you can take out any of the guesswork, that is going to be something that I'm definitely interested in, and automatic shifting is going to take out some of that guesswork. There is a virtual arsenal of accessories and upgrades that you can do on the Packster this year. Some of them we'll talk about. You can now carry up to 3 children in the front, so this is a complete family bike. The max capacity is 220 pounds in the front, so shouldn't have any problem until your kids are the size of football players. There's also weather protection for the kids up front, whether it's rainy or if it's hot, and you can also add a locking top to it if you're just the type of person who wants to go ahead and have their stuff in there. You don't have any kids, you just want to protect your stuff. You can lock out that top, and it's basically a car at that point. You can make it as messy as your car is right now. One of my favorite Riese Müller bikes is getting an upgrade this year. This is my personal favorite, maybe not the world's favorite, but it's mine. It's the Roadster is getting a huge upgrade this year. Integrated 625 watt-hour batteries. You're getting the upgrade to the Bosch Performance CX or Speed motor, 85 Newton meters of torque, as we've talked about before, class 3 speeds if you want them. But this urban bike finally looks like a bike. I mean, this is a blend-in. You're not gonna barely be able to notice that it's an e-bike, except for the fact that you're cruising along up a hill at 28 miles per hour. But for me, it truly ticks all the boxes that you would want in an urban e-bike commuter. You can either go with the 500 watt-hour battery or the 625 if you wanna pay a little bit extra. I would say go with that 625. You're gonna be able to go further, obviously. You've still got the choice between a mixta and a step-over frame, so they've got that low step frame covered if you are into that kind of thing. Of course, you can get front and rear racks as usual. These are all upgrades that you can do, but it's all on an integrated battery up to 625 watt hours and the new Bosch Generation 4 motors. You can opt for a standard derailleur or a Vario hub. You've got Magura MT4 hydraulic disc brakes, fenders in the front, fenders in the back to protect you from the rain. It is fully outfitted to be a city commuter no matter what city you are living in. The minimalist urban design is all operated from the cockpit, which is going to be just as minimalist and looks just as good as the rest of the bike. Finally, the Multicharger, Riese Müller's only rear-loading cargo bike, gets a massive upgrade this year with the Generation 4 Bosch Performance motors on there, which is very nice to see. You get that extra 85 Newton meters of torque, which you'll want on a cargo bike. So if you like the rear-loading cargo bike style, the Multicharger has you covered this year. You can get up to 1125 watt hours on the Multicharger. That is going to be an integrated 625 watt hour battery and a 500 watt hour power pack. Now it's important to note here that you cannot do this on the mixta frame, so if you go with that low step frame, the biggest battery you can get is a 625 watt hour battery on the Multicharger. The Multicharger is excellent for toting around that family if you want to transport the family around, but it's also very good for bike packing, bike touring, things like that as well, because you have that arsenal of accessories to bring along. It is an incredibly versatile bike with passenger kits for both older riders and riders who are children, so there's safety features, or you can just have the cargo accessories if you just want to carry a ton of stuff with you. So those are the big upgrades. Let's talk about a few more. One of the big updates that you're going to be excited about across almost the entire Riese Müller fleet is the fact that you can get Bosch's Neon display. People have been asking about this for years. Some people have even been illicitly putting it on their bikes in the US. Gasp. But now you can get it without having to break the law, the Bosch law. That's the type of law you don't want to be breaking. You can get a Neon display upgraded this year on most of the Riese Müller bikes, which I'm very excited about. Again, one of the other big upgrades is the fact that you are going to have just maxed out battery capability in general. So 1125 on some bikes and 1250 on others. Pretty much unrivaled battery capacity on the Riese Müller bikes. The Superdelite comes back to Riese Müller's fleet for the 2021 model year, but this year you are going to get the 1125 watt hours standard on this bike. So that is an upgrade of 125 watt hours from last year. Last year it was up to 1,000 watt hours. Now you are getting 1125 standard. You don't even have to pay for the upgrade. The Superdelite is, of course, Riese Müller's full suspension, commuting, off-road and trail, and even mountain bike, depending on which model you get. You're getting the same control technology as you did in model year 2020. It was a bike that didn't need a ton of upgrades because it operates pretty perfectly, but it is nice that you now get the 1125 watt hours standard. The Supercharger 2 gets a pretty big upgrade this year. So the Supercharger 2 was updated for the model year 2020, but you were only able to get 500 watt hour batteries in the frame. Now you can get 625 watt hour integrated batteries for the 1250 watt hours that you've been dreaming of for ages. This is great. Again, this is gonna be at least, I would say, 100 miles. If you're conservative, I would say you go a little bit further on those 1250 watt hours, but this is a nice upgrade to see because, you know, it's the type of bike you might wanna do some bike packing on, or you wanna do some long distance touring. So it's nice to have the capability to go for the 1250 watt hours on the Supercharger 2, which is a bike that I loved a lot last year. The Supercharger 2 is Riese Müller's dual battery hardtail on-road, off-road bike, depending on how you outfit it. You can either make it a trail bike or you can make it just a heavy-duty commuter. Love this bike. I'm really glad to see the 1250 watt-hour upgrade on here. Another nice upgrade that I love to see, if you watch my channel, you know how much I love these. All Supercharger 2s are going to come with the ABIS shield that is a cafe lock, so if you're just stopping over and you're gonna have an eye on the bike, you just wanna run and grab some coffee, which is a nice added feature for you. The Charger 3 is back for model year 2021. No massive upgrades here. You can get 1125 watt hours on this bike. That's gonna be one integrated battery and one external power pack. Hey, it's Scott from the future updating something from the video. I wanted to let you guys know that as you can see, you can now get a dual battery on the Charger Mixta. So the Charger 3 Mixta now comes with 1125 watt hours with that rack mounted battery that you can see in that picture. Nice to see this bike back. The Nevo 3 is back this year as well with an upgrade I really like to see. So you are getting a rack mounted battery, which I think is a good look, and also it's a good use of a rear rack. So basically on the 43 centimeter frame, you can get up to 1,000 watt hours. You get a 500 on the rear rack and a 500 integrated into the frame. And then on the 47 centimeter, the 51 and the 56, by the way, you're welcome for that new 51 centimeter size in between the 47 and the 56. You can get an 1125 total watt hours with a 500 watt hour rack mounted battery and a 625 integrated battery into the frame. The Nevo is one of Riese Müller's most popular bikes easily, so it's nice to see these upgrades available on the Nevo 3. I'm very excited to see them come in because, again, I think that rack-mounted battery is a good look and it's underutilized by a lot of companies. Of course, your Riese Müller bikes are still hand-built in Germany, put together and then shipped over here. So shipping times are going to be about the same, but you know you are still getting a hand-built bike every single time. So those are the 2021 bikes from Riese Müller. Do not forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel. We are going to have full reviews on most, if not all, of these Riese Müller bikes. So if you're doing research, I would highly recommend subscribing because we use these in real world situations, not just on the controlled environment of roads. We're going to be taking them off-road. We're going to be taking them bike packing. I promise you, you are not going to want to miss these reviews of the Riese Müller bikes. Thanks for watching, you guys. We'll see you next time.